Hello, everybody, and welcome to Glory Reds FC. It's your boys, Benito and Dee. What's good, Dee?
Yeah, man. What's happening? I'm a little bit on the fatigue side.
Did you have a late one? My guy?
Yeah, man. Yesterday was crazy at the pub, football, drinks. You know how these things go, my guy. You know how these things go.
And especially where you are at, man. You are at the heart of it, man. You are where the
man.
Premier League is, my dog.
High energy levels. Fans
Yeah.
are awesome. Oh man, it was a blast, and now today, we're I don't want to say in recovery, but we're resting it out. But we have to come back and do one for the community, my guy.
One time. Hey, and speaking of the community, we are here with a kind of jam-packed episode. For those of our fans that are keeping current with our podcasts, we are bringing you the latest. Welcome. D, there is so much to talk about, bruv. There is much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. But you know what? Let me just get into the heart of it, which is that left back position, because it seems like United are taking this very, very seriously. What are you concerned about Shaw right now? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, Man United right now are making these drastic, like the names that we're being linked with right now. I mean, some would think it's like some fantasy, maybe Man United doing one of those last minute ditch signings. But when you look at the names that are being brought up, those are good names, So, like, tell me, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this left back position?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously, given the way we started off the season and due to the injuries and players that are not ready to start, United are definitely going hard and heavy in this last transfer week to bring in some positions which at first were not regarded as important before going into the season. But just because of players getting injured last minute and other players, not ready or due to start, and also given the way we've been performing, I mean, it only makes sense that we need to start bringing in some other signings to help us, steady the ship until we have our main guys, fit and ready to come back in the squad. But I think what really makes this transfer news so interesting is the type of players that they want to bring in. I mean, for starters, we're looking at bringing in Cucurella from Chelsea, and he's a big deal left back, and I think he was also a player we're looking at before he went to Chelsea from Brighton, and he's someone that when if we do manage to seal this deal, I mean, it's going to be tough competition for Luke Shaw when he's fit for him to work his way back in the squad, because if he comes into the squad and he's up and running and he does the things that we know him to be well at doing, how is that going to look like for Luke Shaw when he's ready to start games? Yeah, I'm just addressing it, but I'm not really posing it as an issue for him to come to the club because we like healthy competition in the team. It's better to have two very good players competing, for a starting place versus having like one extremely good player and then having maybe a mediocre or an average player coming off the bench to fill in that spot. So with the Cucurella, transfer rumor, like I'm excited about it. And if we can bring him into United, to be playing in that position until we get our current right backs up and fit and running, I wouldn't mind that signing, and I think that would be a great signing for Man United to make. So obviously right now, it's a rumor. I don't really know how much traction there is, or obviously we have our boy Fabrizio Romano reporting on it, so he's a very reliable source on these transfers for Man United. And if that's something that has to happen, I'm really excited about it and hope it can pull through. So right now we just know it's a loan deal. I don't know if it's also going to be a loan to buy, because if it is going to be a loan to buy deal, like I think I would even be more excited about that transfer, to be honest. So yeah, man, those are my thoughts about him. What do you have to say about it?
You know how I see it, dog. Luke Shaw already, I mean, the way I am interpreting all this, Luke Shaw has already earned his place at United in that first team. Like he is, let's just say like Rashford, or he is like Onana, somebody that will always like David De Gea. He's somebody that's
Yeah.
irreplaceable. So the way I'm looking at this transfer window, I don't see them looking, because if it's a loan, the way I'm looking, they're just looking for somebody to cover for Luke Shaw right up until he comes back. And then when Luke Shaw is fit and ready, he's going to come back and take his position. So now,
Okay.
yeah, that's how I'm seeing it, because the way they are busy going about it, if it was about competition, they would have just bought a left back. Like they would have just said, you know what, let's just look for a left back right now and buy him. But they already have Tyrell Malacia and
Yeah.
Fernandez already in that position. So it looks
Yeah.
like they're looking for somebody right now who is going to just fill in, right, like whoever they're getting is going into that team immediately, to
Yeah.
avoid what you were talking about when you were saying you're uncomfortable with Wan-Bissaka and Dalot playing. Because
Yeah.
what if one of them gets injured? Then you know what I mean?
Then what?
Yeah. So I'm thinking that this person that they're bringing in is going to be somebody that's just going to fill in right up until Luke Shaw comes back. And when Luke Shaw's fit and has got his legs moving, bang, he's
Yeah.
going to go back into his team. I think Luke Shaw, even right now, he's the oldest player. Like he is,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's like the most senior player. I think that's what's going to happen. However,
Yeah.
the names that were being linked with, it's very exciting, because United for a very, very long time, it's been a while since we've been linked with names or get the players that we want. But obviously, unfortunately, for us, we are being linked to these very nice names under very bad circumstances, injury,
True.
like the club is reacting because of injury when they could have done something about it.
Yeah.
My issue now is, are these people going to be able to do this deal? Because a loan deal is quite expensive also for the, for us, because we'll be paying his fees. Sometimes when our players go on loan, we are paying for their fees to be there. Like we pay for those players to
Yeah.
go on loan. But
Yeah.
with other clubs, we have to pay those fees. We just have to pay that loan fee, and then his
Yeah.
salary is covered by them. But it looks like
Yeah.
these guys are thinking about, no, you guys have to cover the salary, because he's not going to
Yeah.
be part of our plans for this whole season, because it's
Yeah.
a full season loan. So I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I don't want them. I don't want them to tease us with a player. Like,
Yeah.
because the names, man. Cucurella is very good. The time when he was a
Exactly.
like he's a Barcelona player. I know him when he was at Barcelona as well. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a Barcelona fan as well, but I
Yeah.
knew him when he was there. But at the time he was there was no chance for him to be in that squad. You know how it is when your time is just not your time. Yeah.
True.
But he has
True.
gone up to be a very, very good wingback. And
Yeah.
considering the kind of the 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 the, um, the player type that Eric Ten Hag is looking for, I think
Yeah.
Cucurella checks all the boxes of the kind
Yeah.
of player that
Yeah.
he's looking for.
Definitely.
And then there's
Definitely.
Sergio Reguilon, and then there's Marco Alonso. I don't know. For
Yeah.
me, I would start Cucurella. If we don't get Cucurella, I would go with Marcos Alonso and
Okay.
then Reguilon. I don't know with Reguilon. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm a bit salty about that time when he was supposed to come to us as well, and then he actually went to Tottenham. I'm
True.
salty about that, because we needed somebody at the
Yeah.
time, and ah, he just decided to go. So I don't want Reguilon. I would pick between Cucurella and Alonso. If there's
Okay.
an and apparently there's another player that we are looking into that they
Okay.
will not mention. So I don't know what that is
Oh
about.
yeah. 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 I also heard about that. There's a fourth player that they will not mention. Was that in the left back position?
No, they didn't mention which position. So
Okay.
now,
Yeah. They just said
we,
there's
we,
a yeah.
exactly. So now, because we are thinking transfers, because we're thinking left back, they've mentioned
Yeah.
all these other guys. But then, who is this mystery player that you guys are secretly trying to wow the world with?
Yeah.
Just tell us who he is, or give us a hint so that we know, so that the fans can
Yeah.
decide whether they want this guy or not. For all we
Yeah.
know, the guy is just another, Bobo,
True.
Wout Vegas,
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah. So we don't want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's interesting. It's interesting what they're going to do. And then we move on to midfield, bruv.
Yeah,
In the
man.
mid. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Yeah,
Scott.
man. So obviously in the mid, okay, we're starting with Scott McTominay. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's news out there that United want to do a swap deal for Gravenberch, and in all honesty, I've never seen Gravenberch play. I'm only recently hearing about him now, so I don't know the value of this deal. I don't know if he's another Scott McTominay. I don't know if he's another beast of a player. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So in my regards, like, okay, I'm assuming because it's Eric Ten Hag that he's definitely a better player than Scott McTominay. How better? I'm not sure. I don't know what position he plays, so obviously you're gonna help us out with that. So I don't
Yes.
know how he fit into the squad because we can't forget that we just bought Mason Mount, right? So when Mason Mount is up and fit, and if that deal works out, and we do bring Gravenberch, and I'm not sure if that Gravenberch Scott McTominay is a loan deal or it's a straight up swap deal to buy and sell.
Yeah.
How is that now gonna translate moving forward? Because um I'm assuming Gravenberch is being brought in because of that number 8 position. Obviously, that Erik ten Hag wants to play Mason Mount in. That we're currently obviously using Eriksen in, but obviously we can't use Eriksen. We can't rely on him for the whole season. And clearly, the Mount trio is not working with Bruno and Casemiro. So
Mm-hmm.
this Gravenberch deal, I don't know how it fits in because I know I still want to get to the Amrabat thing, but if we do also get Amrabat, what does that midfield look like? And if we're going to be spending so much money on these midfielders, like what's the plan? You see, so I think that is like, oh yeah, and also is it going to be a thing of are we looking into that swap deal because we can't get Amrabat? So if that deal happens, does it mean that we're not going to continue to pursue Amrabat? Or if we get Amrabat, then we're not gonna pursue the Gravenberch deal. So yeah, man, enlighten us, my guy.
Bruh, this midfield situation is so juicy, man. It's so juicy.
Mm,
Like if everything goes our way, I swear we are going to have a very solid midfield. And when I say um if everything goes our way, I'm talking we both get Gravenbach and Amrabat, which
yeah.
will blow my mind because Gravenbach is going to be a steal.
So
I'm
real quick,
telling you. Yeah.
so Gravenberch, like, what position does he play? Obviously in the midfield, but what is he? Is he a Casemiro type of player? Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Is he a 10? Like, what type of a player is he?
He is a six, a pure six
Mm,
with legs and a chest to
yeah.
go. Hey.
That's good news.
Gravenbach, you know what? It's actually
Yeah.
wild. It means the competition in Bayern Munich is tough because they
True.
have Kimmich and they have Goretzka. And
Yeah.
already there you can tell that midfield is hard to crack. And
Yeah.
those are the
Yeah.
people that he's actually competing with.
Competing
Kimmich and
for.
Gravenbach.
Oh yeah.
It's
Hmm.
impossible. It's impossible for him, bruh, unless there is some wicked ACL tear for Kimmich, he'll slot
Yeah.
in immediately. But other than that, it is not
Okay.
working. That
Yeah.
is, he was them. He's the base of that midfield,
Yeah.
and he can go, my nigga. He can go
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's crazy is this deal actually makes sense because for some
Okay.
reason I feel like Scott McTominay will actually suit Bayern Munich. This is wild. This
Okay.
is
How
me.
so?
Do you know Scott McTominay produces his best football when he is attacking? He is a different monster when he is
100%.
given the liberty to go up front and just be an attacker. It
Yeah.
almost looks like they're looking for a Muller replacement. It's a
Yeah.
weird one. It's a weird one. This is just me
Okay.
throwing some ideas, but Scott McTominay, I won't lie to you. Scott McTominay is a very good player.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I say him being and it's weird to think this because if that was if that was the case, where would Bruno play? Because he is an attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
Scott
yeah,
McTominay is an attacking midfielder because when he started playing, he was a striker.
yeah,
Do you understand? He
yeah,
man, that guy.
yeah,
Look at his goals. Look at the way he plays. Look at the way
yeah,
he has that. You know that smell for
yeah.
goals. He has it.
No, he does.
And
He does.
Bayern Munich are a team that will suffocate you. They want you to keep on
Yeah,
bombarding. I think
yeah,
they're going to
yeah,
deploy Scott McTominay the right way, and people are going to be blown away by
yeah,
how Scott McTominay is going to come out there. I might be rushing it,
yeah,
but in United, we are looking for somebody to help Casemiro. And
yeah.
unfortunately,
True.
Scott McTominay doesn't. He is tall. Yes, he is big and strong. Yes,
Yeah,
he has the passion. Yes, but he just doesn't have those defensive qualities. He just doesn't have them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So the deal to me, honestly, it makes sense because we are going to
Mm,
gain a player that we actually need. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Somebody who's actually going to be there with Casemiro. And when I say be there with Casemiro, Casemiro, you will see Casemiro even going up front and being a nuisance. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He'll be given that liberty because that kid can actually hold that thing by himself. He's a beast.
yeah,
Now imagine you get a scenario where we can add Amrabat in there, D.
yeah, yeah.
Lord, please take the wheel. I'll be so happy because these are not big names, but they're guys that are going to do the job. That
Yeah,
midfield job that we want. We want somebody just to protect Varane and Martinez when they slip up once in a while. Somebody just
yeah.
to be there. You know what I mean? Somebody
No, I
just
get
to
you.
be there. And these two players are exactly the addition that we need. I wish we could make the Gravenbach one a permanent deal. But for a
Yeah,
loan, because Scott McTominay is always going to be coming in as a pop player. And it looks like
true.
then Bayern Munich, they're actually going to deploy him. Like say, okay,
Yeah,
we'll try and see. Yeah, I think that that's what they're going to do. So I
yeah,
endorse this deal. Actually, I actually endorse it. I want Scott to go and play to get to man. He's 26. I don't know, maybe turning 27, and
yeah,
it's still not working out. He shouldn't be a Jesse Lingard. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, man. And then yeah,
So, all right. Yeah, no, I hear you. And, as you were talking, I was checking up his stats. And, I'm really happy to see that he's still a young player, 21 years old. When you look at the recent seasons, he actually hasn't been having a lot of game time. When
yes,
you look as far back as 2021, 2022 season, that's when he had his most starts. He had 41 appearances, 36 starts. And then post that, he has been having like one start, one appearance, 32
yes,
appearance, but only six starts.
yes,
2022, 2023, 2024, so far he's only had one appearance, no start. But the season where he was starting, and I'm assuming obviously he was much younger than that, um, he actually managed to produce six assists, which is very good in the 2021 season, 2021-2022 season. So yeah, I mean,
and
obviously
now
he still
take
has a
him.
lot of room to become a better player than
And he
what he
was that
currently
guy.
is.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was that guy in
yeah,
Ajax. Remember Ajax?
yes, yes, yes.
He was
Oh
from
yes, he
Ajax.
is trained for Ajax. Yeah, yeah.
From Ajax.
So yeah, yeah, I can see that. So yeah, man, it seems like he's the one that we need. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And I can definitely see how it's gonna fit into Ten Hag's system and the way he plays. So that could be a really good signing for us. And to your point, we can't rely on Casemiro the whole season playing in all competitions.
you
So
see?
it will be really good to have someone in the mix who can be sharing that responsibility of that position. So I
Yeah,
guess looking at the both of them, Gravenbach and Amrabat playing in two different positions, it would
yeah,
be nice to have options of
exactly.
different ways of approaching certain teams. That okay, do we start
Yeah,
Ericsson and
yeah,
Casemiro? Do we start Amrabat and Gravenberch, or even do a mixture of the four? Okay,
yeah.
so I hear you on that, but now where does that leave Mason Mount if we
No,
manage to sign these two deals? If we manage to get
Mason.
Amrabat and we manage to
Yeah,
get Gravenberch, where does that leave Mason Mount?
like we discussed, the way we. I mean, I know it's not going to happen because this was priority numero uno
Yeah,
for Eric Ten Hag. So he's always going to play his signings. He's always going to deploy Mason Mount. Now, how he deploys
yeah,
Mason Mount will be up to him. He will try and force that thing. That's cool. The only thing that we are talking about here is you look at Ericsson and you look at Casemiro, and you look at
mm,
how this, like you look at how the Premier League is going with the red cards and the yellow cards and all
yeah,
you factor in all these things. Even
yeah,
if Mason Mount doesn't play or he starts, it is good for us to have those players because if Mason Mount is not having a good game, he can deploy these players. These players are going to, it's all about winning. Once these players
true.
are in, it's all about winning your position. Eric Ten
Yeah,
Hag will see the competition. He will see what's fitting and what's working, and he will try and fix it accordingly. If he
yeah,
forces and keeps insisting on putting Mount and Mount is not doing what he's supposed to do, there will be resistance from the fans. And it's not like he's not going to hear it. He will know.
yeah,
He will know that he will need to make a change because we're like, why did you bring Gravenberch on and Amrabat in if you're not going to start them or play them or whatever, or put them in as
yeah,
sub or whatever? So he will figure something out. But for in terms of depth of the squad, because
yeah,
I see Ericsson getting an injury this
yeah,
year,
100%.
and it will go for a very long time because he has aged.
Yeah,
Casemiro, he's fit. I'm scared of the. I mean, he also him injuries because he's a bit
yeah,
older. So injuries take a little bit long for these older folks. So I'm worried if he was to pick up an injury, how long it would take. But
yeah,
even a month is too much. Like 3 weeks is too much without Casemiro. 2 weeks
yeah,
is too much
yeah,
without
yeah,
Casemiro. So
true.
whatever injury he's going to get, if we lose Casemiro, that is already a concern. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So it would be
yeah,
good to have Gravenberch and Amrabat in because he can play them both inside
yeah,
that team. And those guys can both interchange because it's wild. They're the same, they play the same way. I mean, not the same way, I lie. I mean, their qualities are
yeah,
literally similar,
yeah.
but they have different styles of play. But it would be a big, big addition in our midfield. I'm
All
telling
right.
you, big one. Considering we have Bruno, Ericsson, and then I
Yeah.
know it would be a big boost. It would be a
All
big
right.
boost.
So okay, cool. So another scenario, right?
Yeah.
And the way I sort of see things, like, okay, so if we do get Gravenberch and we do get Amrabat, I
Mm,
think it'll play more in favor for Mason Mount because now he'll be contesting for the number 10 position and he won't need to be competing for the number 6 and number 8 position. Now
yeah.
it raises concerns because Ericsson is a more natural number 10 than he is a number 8 or a 6. So I think if we get those two in, plus we'll have Casimiro, I think now that's when Ericsson maybe would be favored more for that number 10 position in maybe some of the cup games and in maybe some of the Premier League games that if and that's only if we start playing better, right? Where we feel that okay, Bruno may not be needed for this game because maybe we're reserving him for a more challenging fixture during the Champions League. So now I
Yeah.
see Ericsson being promoted as a substitute for Bruno Fernandes in some of the games, right? So again, I think it brings us back to because Ericsson plays number 10, the number 10 position better than Mason Mount, right? Mason Mount has now dropped to sort of like a third pick in all the positions of play.
Mm.
You see? So
No, I
now
okay,
I don't
okay.
really necessarily think it's about, maybe him not about it's not gonna be about how he performs, but it's just gonna be about how exactly do we deploy him. Because look, Mason Mount is a very good attacking midfielder. I've never really seen him in that number 10 position. I could be wrong, maybe Chelsea fans know better. But for me, if I had it my way, if I was
Mm,
reserving maybe Bruno for another match, I would rather start Ericsson in that position before I start Mount. If we're going to be starting with Gravenberch and we're going to be starting with Amrabat, you see, and then
mm,
maybe, yeah, take out Ericsson and then bring in Mason. But still, there are other players that I would rather have in that number 10 position. So with the Mason Mount one, and I'm not trying to complicate things, too much, but I don't know. Just looking at the way Erik ten Hag has set up the team and how he wants to play, right?
Mm,
With that formation, I
mm.
still don't see exactly how Mason Mount fits into the system. So, what are your thoughts? Do you feel that if we get those two signings and Mason Mount and Ericsson are going to be promoted to competing for number 10 position, do you think that Mason Mount could actually do a decent job playing in that position with the midfield three of, him there and then a variation of, any of those other three defensive midfielders, Amrabat, Gravenberch, and Casemiro?
D, think about it this way, my guy. Think about it as having a beautiful problem to have, an amazing problem to have. Like
Yeah,
imagine having that kind of stress. Like, who do I pick into my midfield? Like
yeah,
you look at Pep Guardiola, you look at Klopp, you look at all these guys who have these options off the bench,
yeah,
and how he deploys them. Of course, that will matter because obviously it will affect how the game goes. But
yeah,
just having that variety of options, like, okay, this game is a cup game. I can decide to deploy Ericsson in the number 10 position, then maybe Mount as a number 8, and then he partners maybe with a Gravenberch. Like anyone, Casemiro, it doesn't it goes with according to how the fixtures are planned and how he's trying to approach these games. Because based from last season, you could tell that he was paying a lot of attention to detail with a lot of like all the cup games that we were playing.
yeah,
I mean, even though we had, even though there were like these core players that were playing throughout, he managed to swap us around, like swap the players around, just to hang in there, just to maintain. I don't know. Man, this is I like this problem, D. I really do.
Look, I get you, and I would also like the problem, but here's my problem, right? Because you mentioned the other managers. When you look
Yeah,
at Klopp and Pep, right? Yes, they
yeah.
have a very deep squad, okay, but I think the difference is the type of
Actually,
players that
okay.
they buy is
Yeah.
they buy players that fit perfectly into the system of play, right? So yes, they may have an abundance of players, but those players fit exactly into the system, right?
Mhm.
And with Liverpool, etc. But now let's give a classic example of Chelsea. Look how many players Chelsea brought in last season, right? That's a
Mm.
manager's dream to have, a plethora. What? That word, you know what I
A
mean?
plethora.
A plethora, a plethora of players. Guys, hey, last night was hectic. Yeah, my brain is still waking up. But anyway, a lot of players, right? A lot of
Yeah.
players, and you say it's a healthy problem. But Chelsea couldn't get it right, and that's why this season you see them offloading a lot of those players because it's like it's good to have all these players, all these good players,
Mm.
but it now poses another problem if those type of players that you're bringing in don't necessarily fit into your system. Because
Mm.
we have a lot of players, like if all these deals go through, all well and good, but
Mm.
not all of them fit into that system and that plan that Ten Hag has. And a lot
Mm.
of the time, we see this thing of um, switching players, you know what I mean? Manipulating them into other positions. And United have had this problem for many years of us bringing in players and making them shifting them into different positions. I mean, look at once upon a time Scott McTominay was playing centre back. You understand? Like
Yeah,
you said, he was
Mourinho.
a striker, and he has played almost every single position apart from goalkeeper in that squad because we do not get players that fit into our system. We just get players that are available on the market and that we can get. So all well and good, we can get all these good players, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a good problem to have. But I don't see it as a good problem to have if said players do not fit into the system.
No, I understand you, and you know what? I'm glad you brought the Chelsea like the Chelsea example because I actually see that there's actually a difference with us because with Chelsea, when you look at how they were spending at that time, they were just trying to change. I don't know how they were going about things, but remember with the time when they bought Chilwell, like the Chilwell
Yeah,
season, they'd spent a
yeah,
lot of money, and that season they flopped. And then
yeah,
they went. I think after that they went on that ban that they couldn't
Yeah.
do the transfers, and then
Yeah.
immediately they were allowed to, and then I think they got sold or something like that. And then immediately when this guy came in, he started spending money and then
Yeah.
going on this loop of buying players. He's just buying players just to buy.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of like freedom to do what we're doing. We're literally looking at specifics. Now, remember what we said. This is an ideal transfer. It's not something that, like, this is what we are fantasizing about. It's not
Yeah.
that we're going to get both. We might get
100%.
one of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So maybe when we get one, then the problem that you are trying to address
Yeah.
might be solved, because we were talking about two players. But again, you look at what they're saying about Amrabat. The guy's training by himself. You said
Yeah.
it. He's training by himself. He's waiting for us. So
Yeah.
now, if we do get those two, um, honestly, I don't know, D. I really don't know how to answer the question. I don't even want to lie, because
Yeah.
it's. I
Because
get
he's
where you're coming from. I get where you're coming
yeah.
from. But like I said, to me, honestly, I in terms of having a good problem to have, I think that
Yeah.
is it. And if you try and
Okay.
factor in everything, I'm talking about injuries, uh, cards. Let's think about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's how I am picturing. That's how I am feeling about the ideal world when we get to sign these two players. Because if Scott is gonna go, Donovan de Beek, I don't know what the hell is going on.
I
Maybe
have
those
no
guys are
idea what's
reluctant to
happening.
buy, but he needs
Yeah.
to ship out. Like, he's another one that needs to bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that we can bring in these players, because it seems like we can only buy if we sell.
Yeah.
And the Gravenbach situation is a loan deal. It's a loan swap. So
Yeah.
it's like that one would sort itself out by itself. And then the one to buy and sell, if we don't sell Donovan de Beek, we can't get Amrabat. So I don't know. And then there's this, which is the next part of this topic, Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Oh man, honestly, at this point, I don't even know what to say anymore about the Harry Maguire situation.
Yeah,
Um, Again, I don't have any specific details. I just see what's in the papers and what's online.
yeah,
Obviously, what I've heard or read or seen is that they're now looking into a loan deal instead of a buy deal, for Harry Maguire. At this point, like, I don't even know if he's worth the conversation, and no disrespect, because regardless of whether he stays or goes, he's not going to play. You know, the
yes,
only way he's going to play is if, a multitude of players get injured. That's the only
mm,
way, because
mm,
we saw last season that when both our centre backs were injured, Ten Hag opted for Luke Shaw ahead of him. You know, and
mm,
I just don't see any way back for Maguire back in the squad. So
mm,
whether the deal goes through or not, it's I don't want to really say it should be a big concern for us. I think it
mm,
should be a big concern for Harry Maguire. I think now it's his problem. It's not our problem anymore. We
mm,
know where he stands. The club knows
mm,
where he stands. The manager
mm,
knows where he stands.
yeah,
So right now, the best thing for him to do is for him to just come up with that decision himself and say,
mm,
like, look, I need to leave the club, right?
mm,
I just feel like us giving this Harry Maguire thing energy is just it's past that.
mm,
I even forget that he's even a Man United player, to be honest. You know what I
mm,
mean? The only
mm,
time he comes to mind is if I hear about injuries in our defense, and then I'm now looking to like our bench and being like, oh, who are we gonna? And then I see him, and then my heart just aches, and I'm like, oh god, we still have this player. You know what I mean? So
mm.
yeah, man, with the Harry Maguire thing, hey, if he wants to stay, if he wants to leave, at the end of the day, it's not gonna be our problem. He'll be his own problem. But anyway, what do you think about it?
Yeah, man. I was reading too. You know, I tend to read in between the lines and try and dissect things unnecessarily. But the way I looked at this thing is, um, it seems like Harry Maguire, if he doesn't, like, if we don't make this Harry Maguire deal, we risk not bringing in a centre back which is a
Yeah.
plus, which is something that we're actually looking into because there's a little scare with Varane already,
Yeah.
something that we talked about.
Yeah.
So we actually need a replacement, and there's no way we are going to trust Johnny Evans. That
And
deal, I don't know
hmm,
why they made it. I don't know if Johnny Evans accepts to be chowing bench until he's
yeah.
actually needed. Because I don't want to see him starting important games, even
Yeah.
cup games that are just like with a
No.
team that if we check its background and they're firing on all cylinders, their attackers are a problem. I don't want to
Yeah.
see Johnny Evans in that defense. So
Yeah.
already he's like already out, but he'll be part of the team. He'll be part of the squad for certain games or whatever, like a bit part player.
Yeah.
Now, if Maguire stays and we risk getting injuries from our players, it means that he will play. Now, if he doesn't go, it means we
Yeah.
can't get a defender in. And that's the thing that is concerning me because apparently, I don't know if it is about like Harry Maguire doesn't want to take a pay cut. The
Yeah.
guy is enjoying the status of being a United fan player, and he doesn't want
Uh,
to go. But it looks like West Ham have actually reignited their interest in making a loan deal.
yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's going to be a loan to buy, but the loan deal they want to strike is that West Ham pay
Okay.
help pay some of his fees when he goes, and then
Yeah.
United also give him a payout or some nonsense like that. But they're still
Mm,
negotiating.
okay.
You understand? So if
Yeah.
that is the problem that we're having, and then we are not looking into bringing in a defender and rather letting Maguire stay,
Yeah.
then we have another problem because what's the point of having a defender
I hear
who's
you.
just there? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like the manager doesn't want you. Like you're going to come in when Varane is injured, Martinez is injured. If Luke Shaw was
Yeah.
playing, when Luke Shaw is injured, then it's you and Victor Lindelof. But then they might even put in Johnny Evans. And if they
Yeah.
put Johnny Evans before you, I mean, like, come
Yeah.
on,
I mean, what
like, like
what other signs? What
how
other
low
signs
is
do you
we,
want? Exactly.
bro? So yeah, man, I was a little bit. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking a lot about it because I keep hoping that Maguire will just go. Like I want him
Yeah.
to go. I feel that I don't know this transfer deadline that's coming. D man, I think it's going to be a cracker. I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a funny feeling it's going to be a cracker. There are going to be signings that we're just going to be sitting there and saying, "What the?"
Yeah.
Like this
I hear
this guy
you.
went where? They are still coming. These teams are holding back. United
Yeah.
is holding back funds. They're
Yeah.
sitting here pretending like, hey, FFP, whatnot. Hey, we don't have the
Yeah.
money. When push comes to shove, you just see a 50 coming up from there or a handle coming from nowhere, and we're bringing in
True.
2, 3 players. And then you will sit back and be like, wait, what? Wait. Where did this come
Yeah.
from? And then I'll be
Yeah.
like, no, we're pleased that no, this money was always there. We're just always managing to. Then they just do that thing that they do when they brainwash the weak United fans, the ones who've got a veil over their face. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, yeah, Harry Maguire. But
Yeah.
the weirdest one of them all today,
Yeah.
that one, like, I don't know, for some reason, that one I'm gonna defend it. Like, I'm gonna be like, nope. And for a
Yeah.
very long time, I was like fed up. Tony
Yeah.
Martial, bro. Tony
Yeah.
Martial to Real Madrid on a loan. I
Yeah.
say, no,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. We
None
do
of that.
not want, stay away from Martial.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is this guy is going to get injured there and he's going to be on the bench. That's it.
Yeah.
So what's the
Yeah.
point? We'd rather have
Exactly.
him here. We'd rather him here, chow bench, get
Yeah.
fit. We
Yeah.
moan about him. And then Rasmus gets injured. He comes back on.
Exactly.
He should stay. Bro, I don't
Yeah.
know. You had some thoughts. Like you had something to say earlier on. So give it to
Yeah,
me, Baba.
man.
Give it
Like
to me.
obviously, like what I was saying is that we don't have any options. Right now we only have Tony Martial and we've got Rasmus Højlund. And like you pointed out, Real Madrid does not have any strikers. Real Madrid are gonna be our competition in the Champions League. So for
Yeah.
me, it makes no sense of us giving them one of our strikers and putting them at an advantage. Because for all we know, he goes there, doesn't get injured, does the
Yes.
business for them. You know what I mean? And then we're sitting here with our mouths open on some, but we thought you're injury prone. You understand what I'm saying? We don't know what's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah.
Also, we can't take that risk. So to your point, you might as well stay here and get injured here and be swapping injury rotation with Rasmus Højlund. Like, nah,
Like
nah, nah,
we're
nah.
used
Real
to.
Madrid should, fam, nah, fam. We also need strikers. We don't want to see Rashford back in that position because boy
Bro,
plays way better coming off the left, you know? So there's no way in hell United should even entertain that
bro,
idea. And
bro.
now it brings me to what you said earlier on about
Mm,
that mystery fourth signing. So here's where I have my theories about the mystery fourth signing.
yeah.
So I think that the mystery fourth signing is probably a striker. And maybe that's why the news has come out
Mm,
that they want to push Martial out on a loan. And then most
good
probably
one.
that mystery
Nice. Nice.
transfer probably could be João Felix because like he said, he doesn't want to be at Atletico Madrid, and we know that he's an option to be loaned or to be sold from the club. So I think the only reason why this is gaining some traction or why it's even being put out in the papers is because that fourth mystery signing could potentially be a striker. Now, I'm saying João Felix. It could be someone else that we don't know. I hope it's not Vic Velka, whatever his name is, back to United. You
Bobo.
know, yeah. So in that regards, I think that mystery fourth signing is probably a striker, due to the fact that the rumors are out there that Martial might be going to Real Madrid. What do you think?
No, that is very interesting, bro. Like I actually like that. I like that. Yeah, you could be right because I mean the Jao Felix part. I'm not sure because, like I said, I am also a Barca fan, and we are looking to bring him in for loan. He's actually waiting for us, for the club to. I mean, for us, for the club, for Barca to have the
Yeah,
funds so that he could do a loan deal. He's been dreaming about Barca, So I
yeah,
don't know if that's the. I haven't seen the rumor mill, but that's a very nice call because he's also wanted to come to United. We were actually looking to bring him in at one
yeah,
point, and
yeah.
I think he would enjoy it at United because he wanted to
True.
come back to England. So that is a very good shout.
Yeah,
And the
man.
fact that we are linked with Martial loan move, that could actually be the mystery player. And
Mm.
nice. That was a nice one, man. That was nice.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
that was juicy, man. That was yeah.
Yeah.
But here's another weird one. The
All right.
Chelsea and Jadon Sancho.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like that weird one.
yeah.
I think I call it bullshit, man.
Yeah,
I
same here,
call it.
man. I just think that these papers just want to sell, and I don't think there's anything valid over there.
Mm,
Especially us having our injuries with Ahmed Diallo. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Obviously up front because we've seen Sancho playing that false nine position.
yeah.
We could get to a point where Rasmus and Martial are not fit to start. So he's a possible option to be starting in that position. So I just don't see that one happening at all. And yeah, and I think despite Chelsea bringing a lot of players and selling a lot of players, they still have a lot of players. So adding Jadon Sancho into that mix, I just don't see it happening.
Whoa, let me slow you down there, my guy.
Right?
Chelsea have an injury crisis, my guy.
Is it?
That is why that's why they keep being linked to players, which I don't understand. Like
Yeah.
they have got a very long injury list. Just check it out if you are able to. But they've got
Right.
players that are
Yeah,
injured,
yeah,
so they're trying to fit in. And then you add on top of that, like I don't know if they're going to look into a center back, and it's
yeah,
so like this guy is really really underrated, man. Thiago Silva,
yeah.
like 38, playing at the Premier League at the highest level. Like, bro, this guy blows my mind. And I'm always
Yeah,
scared.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
always scared. I'm always scared that he's going to. I'm always scared that he's going to lose something. So, hey, man,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
hey.
yeah,
So I don't know, man. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's why.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. I hear
But
you.
yeah, man. No, that was a good one. I don't know if you have anything else to add, something that we've missed. Any news, anything interesting about United, something that I might have missed. Um,
Nah, I think that's basically it. I mean, maybe one name we didn't mention was the goalkeeper that they still want to complete the signing from the Turkish club.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, Alte Ben Yadir or something like that. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
butchering names today, fam. But yeah, apart from that,
Yeah.
and of course, with what's his name, Dean Henderson, obviously, looking to leave the club.
Crystal
Um,
Palace.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. So that
Yeah.
also might
Yeah.
happen. It also might not happen. But I think the ones that we spoke about are the ones that, are the
We are
important, so to
heavily.
say.
Okay. All
You know
right.
what I mean? So yeah, I think that other stuff is doesn't really, I don't want to say qualify, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, my guy.
No, man, that was a good one, man. Thank you everybody for listening. D, please drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, so you guys can listen to us, of course, on your favorite podcasting streaming platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can check out our website, join our community on WhatsApp group, follow us on Twitter. And yeah, you can check out our website for blog articles. And of course, we also have the links to our community over there. And yeah, with that being said, yeah, you guys can like, share, subscribe, get the word out there. Let's grow this community, and glory Reds.
And please leave a comment. Let us know how you
Yeah,
feel, like any suggestions, how you want us to improve our podcast, because we're trying to give you the best news, the best quality. So feel free to give us some good constructive criticism. We
yeah,
do not mind. We are learning.
yeah.
And yeah. All
Hmm.
right. Thanks, D.
All right, man. Thanks, my guy.
Peace.
Peace.